Welcome to yet another morning for visionaries, and today I have well, a bit of a personal story. It doesn't involve the streaming quality dropping from 4K to 1080p, which sucks. It's a story of greed, woes, and stress. So, before we get started, this stream is really all about greed, but it's primarily about how you can really screw up in stocks, options, and trading like that. Now, this is not a cautionary tale of stocks and stuff. So that's not, because that in itself has its own issues, of course, right? That's not what the problem was here. The problem was greed. Yes, in stocks and options, you can make or lose a lot of money instantly, or actually very quickly, I should say. But that's not where all of this went wrong, and that's not what this story is about. This story is how I got greedy and didn't follow the very simple advice of pigs get fat and hogs get slaughtered. And I got completely slaughtered, and that caused me a lot of stress and anxiety, all because of my own greed, my own issues, my own stubbornness and ego. So, this is a cautionary tale of what not to do. Learn from experience. So, starting out, the story goes. That makes it sound like a not real story. It's a real story. So, we were moving up in the world. Business was going well, and decided to start investing in forex trading, bitcoins, and kind of a slew of different things. And as you all know, that kind of goes up and down. If you don't have a lot of time, you just invest long and kind of keep it that way. If you and I decided, well, I might as well take some play money and go run with it. See how the Bitcoin world, forex trading, how stocks, days, options, futures, and all those things happen to work for me. Well, initially, it actually was, I guess, breaking even. Made a little money, lost a little bit of money, but overall making a very, very small profit, day by day ish, sort of. Sometimes I went down to like $500 from an initial 1,000 that I put in. Sometimes I went up to like 1,700, et cetera, et cetera. But overall, kind of wobbled, but slowly going up, and that was kind of nice. And that gave me the confidence and the interest and the experience I needed to see if I could make this work. And I was making it work slowly and steadily. And I invested in two ways. I invested in the long term, buy something that is steadily kind of going up, no real big changes, something safe, and also the really high risk ones. After I got going on those, I decided to play with options and futures and these things. And eventually, things were working really well. I was making a decent, tidy profit, and it was going up. I was also doing it smart. Any profit that I made went into the safe zone. That wouldn't be touched. It stays there and then would be converted to cash. And then I stopped listening to this basic advice where if you make a profit, take it out, put it somewhere safe, especially if you don't have a lot of money to lose. And at that point, we didn't have a whole lot of play money. And this was good extra money that would have done us a lot of good. But I started getting greedy. I wanted more and more and more. I saw the zeros pile up in a good way, and I saw the money signs lit up in my eyes, and I thought, oh, this is phenomenal. I need to do more and more. So I need to pump more money into this thing. So I took money out of the cash I have saved up from all those investments, and this was getting very close to six figures easy. And I put it all in there, started making decent profits with that, and then I got even more greedy. Put it into some very, very high risk items without thinking of safety or a safety net. And then something started dropping. I'm like, yeah, that happens, right? Yeah. But I'm greedy. I know this is going to work. I know exactly how this is going to play out. I'm going to stick with this because I want more money. I didn't listen to logic nor reason. I just went with my ego and did not pay attention to what was going on in the world, nor was I paying attention to the market, and everything just tanked. And this is, by the way, before Bitcoin went from $20,000 per dollar of the USA. down to whatever the heck it was. It was way before that. So it wasn't even about that. So all of my money, because I got greedy, I didn't listen to reason. I didn't listen to the market. I didn't pay attention. I just got greedy and I got stupid because I didn't pay attention to any of that. I thought I know better, and the money signs were just in my eyes all day. All I saw was green, and so I just kept going and going and going, and I lost it all in essentially a day. From about $60,000 of everything I saved up, worked over a bit over a year, I think, to get there, or maybe a little bit more, and all that. I lost it all in a day because I got greedy and stupid. So this is a cautionary tale of how greed can really screw you over. So, life pro tips for you in life. Sometimes it's okay to be greedy. Life is weird. It's wonky. You don't always have to be a perfect person. That's fine. Be greedy sometimes. Fine. When it comes to investments and money, you have to play it smart because there are real consequences to being greedy and dumb. So, some real life pro tips. And by the way, I'm not a financial advisor, so take this as just the sage advice of somebody who's really screwed it up and has had to start over because of that. So, be smart with your money. First, have some safe investment. Of course, have an actual checking account, a savings account, and your safe investments account. But for any of the fun money, the sage advice is kind of simple. Play it at least 2 or 3 kinds of ways. One, have some money in something very safe, growing slowly, long-term things or medium-term things, depending what you're more comfortable with. But something relatively safe, something that you can then. So actually, maybe 4 things you should put down. So the investment of the safe thing. Then the one before that really is you should have this cash pile. So for the investments that come, especially if you're playing with day trading, options, and futures, you should have this cash pile. So once you make some profit on it and sell and make a profit, take all that cash, bank it essentially, and then only use like that extra little bit to invest again, up until you have this nice little nest egg going, and keep that one safe. Never ever invest that one. That one is the money you're going to eventually pull out, use to pay down debt, towards college, and you buy trips, whatever. That's your little nest egg. Don't touch that one ever. And just keep using the profits for anything more, how shall we say, more adventurous and risky other than medium conservative, I should say. For the high risk ones, if you make money on that one, great. That is free-ish money essentially. Keep that, bank it. But if you lose money, that's okay because the high risk ones, the day trading ones, the futures options, make sure that all that money, and this is what you have to understand, all that money is going to be fun money. If you make some, great. If you lose some, great. It's essentially money that you knew going in that you're probably going to lose anyway. So you essentially start with the very low expectations, right? So you start off with very, very low expectations. You're going to lose money if you put in the high risk ones anyway. So if you make something, great. If you don't make anything or you lose money, that's fine because that is what that money was for. It was specifically made to be potential. There's a very, very high chance of you losing it. So if you did, yeah, okay, you planned for that. It's not the end of the world. It's okay. Nothing of real value was lost. Well, money is valuable, but it's not going to hurt you if you lose that fun money. So that money you have set aside for high risk investments has to be play money, essentially. Now, if you have a lot of money saved up and you have a lot of money to play with, that's a different story. For most of us, this idea here is that you have to play it. You have to have some cash reserves. You have to have a safety net and conservative investments. You have to have kind of medium things that can kind of wibble and wobble a whole bunch. You can play with once in a while. And then the high risk ones for true fun money where you can make it or you lose it all. And that's fine. And that's what that is for. So play it safe. Don't let greed get over you because it will truly screw you over like it did me. So if you are definitely going to play with Bitcoin and stocks and Forex and options, play it safe, diversify a decent amount, and make sure you do your research and homework to make sure all of that is done right and safely and doesn't screw you over. So that's my little story of how greed lost me $60,000 in one day. I wonder if you guys have any other stories, stupid investments, or how greed essentially got in the way of your life and progress and kind of essentially made your life not as great as it was because you got greedy. What lessons did you learn? I'd love to hear your story. So leave it in the comments or contact me. I'd love to grab a drink and hear your story. See you around. Bye.